everyone, welcome to the show. It's Monday, the 24th of March. We're starting the final few days of the month of March with today's market day. Hope you had a very great weekend. Let me take it off from here, looking back at some of the markets we cover for you on a daily basis here on Frontier. Opening bell, the Nigerian market softened by 0.05% on Friday, and that's the numbers 104,962. The BRVM was down by 0.64%. And then, of course, you look at the Ghana market, up by 0.25%. The Egyptian market was 0.81% on Sunday. That's the start of the market in Cairo. That's at 1,933, a solid start for the Egyptian stock market. The Nairobi market was up 0.25% on Friday, while the GSE was closed 89,518.75. Those are just the market numbers as we finished off over the weekend. Let's see what the new week begins to bring to the table. Just get on with some of the big stories. Uganda is approving $190 million in loan for power firm Umeme, which is also listed on the markets, as it were. Then you've got Uganda still in the news, planning a $2 trillion halal market via the new AfCFTA, the Intra-African Trade Fair. That's quite ambitious for this East African economy. In the meantime, Ethiopia says it's struck a deal, $8.4 billion in debt restructuring with the creditors, part of what Prime Minister Abiy is doing to support the economy, part of the transformation and the revival of the Ethiopian economy, getting the kind of a deal that Ghana got under former President Nana Akufo-Addo with the creditors, giving the government a bit of headroom to move on with the entire reform of the economy and get a lot more support from international organizations. That's some news we came through over the weekend from Ethiopia. And of course, you got Tanzania mineral recovery soaring, driven by gold from President Samia Suluhu Hassan's economy. In the capital market in Ethiopia, authorities says they've licensed 5 new capital market service providers. There was some training program that were done over the past week with these organizations. The Ethiopian Capital Market Authority, which is the SEC, as it were, is moving on with the new Ethiopian Securities Exchange. What else do I have on my radar this Monday morning? Nigeria's Quidax says it's listed the country's first regulated stablecoin amid a market shift. Within the region, however, Liberia and the World Bank have launched a $30 million project to drive the reform that the government is doing within the public sector, as well as the tax matters. In Ghana, Electrochem, Ghana Limited says it's looking for $445 million for expansion in that country, while President Mahama, the new president, has banned government appointees from mining, told government cabinet ministers to keep their fingers off the country's mining business. And they should just focus on governance issues and allow the private sector to deal with the mining business. Some good news. Ivory Coast economic boom is facing challenge ahead of October's 2025 presidential election, in which one of the world's, a former banker, is also contesting. One of the international banking executives is now pitching his hat into that. Athiam is also in the race for the next presidency of Cote d'Ivoire. Liberia, telecom authorities says is implementing an ECOWAS free roaming policy, which allows everyone to get a free access to internet within the ECOWAS sub-region. The roaming policy allows the telecommunication service to be much better. Let's push this forward into Southern Africa, where Mozambique and Zambia are eyeing new projects in the Chapo-Ichilema talks between the two countries. In the meantime, President Chapo of Mozambique, according to Bloomberg report, has had its first face-to-face meeting with the main opposition leader since the last disputed presidential election. That's in the news this morning. In Namibia, in the southern west of the Southern Africa. The new president has appointed Erika Shafuda as the Minister of Finance. Congratulations. Zambia, however, says it's recorded FX reserves failing to solve the currency's woes. The country is looking at a very woeful performance of the currency as reserves fail. Zambia is going through a very rough patch as we speak due to the impact of climate change, a few other issues impacting energy in the country. Namibia is expanding offshore drilling, and there's new licenses are now up for grabs within the country. You can also read up more on that. And finally, South Africa is requesting proposals for private sector in the rail sector. They want investments to come in the month of August, and that's been opened up. So let's open it all up to the Northern Corridor. In Morocco, where Rabat is looking to introduce bosses under a $13 million Korea-Morocco partnership. In the meantime, the big North African economy is planning about $1.5 billion airport upgrade ahead of the World Cup 2030, which Morocco is co-hosting. Egypt and United Kingdom says they're discussing a stronger industry and transportation ties between the two countries across the Mediterranean, while Gafi and Mashreq Bank are promoting investment opportunities in North Africa's biggest economy. Suez Canal Bank said it's approved the bonus shares to shareholders. That's worth roughly 3.5 Egyptian pounds. That's for the 2024 financial year, by the way. And finally, Tunisian president says sacked the prime minister amid the country's economic crisis. That President Said. And those are your headlines as we get the new week started. This Monday, this 94th. Remember, we're getting into the final days of March, and that will effectively put the first quarter of the year behind us. Do have a profitable day, everyone. And remember to keep your eyes here on Frontier Africa Reports.